Bill Gates has been one of the wealthiest men alive for decades. Now, surprise, surprise, it's not only because of his Microsoft holdings. In today's video, we're going to look at his most lucrative holdings. You're going to want to take notes on this one. Gates' investments range from national railways to Walmart and everything in between. We'll examine the reasons behind why he holds shares in each company and what you can do to create a portfolio as strategic as his. Stick around to the end because we're saving the best for last. Bill Gates has 50% of his wealth tied up in one company, and it just might surprise you. It's quite different from the rest of his investments. Okay, let's dive right in. Bill Gates has net worth estimated to be above $125 billion. This is partly due to founding the behemoth of a tech company, Microsoft, and partly due to his strategic investments. Over time, he has accumulated a portfolio that totals nearly $100 billion in stocks alone. Of course, these numbers started out a lot smaller. Bill Gates' investments have returned to massive gains many times over, and with the list we're about to go over, it wouldn't surprise me if it continued to generate impressive profits for the foreseeable future. I'm going to be honest, about 10% of Bill Gates' portfolio is absolute trash. Yeah, you heard that right. 10% of the billionaire's holdings are tied up in a certain company called Waste Management, ticker WM. As you might guess, WM is in the business of managing the incredible amount of trash we produce as a population. WM certainly isn't the only company that's managing the waste in the United States, but it does have a massive chunk of the market under control. The company currently services a little over 50% of the market, with the next competitor coming in at a measly 34%. What's even more convincing about this stock pick is that the trash industry will be one of the last to go under if there's economic collapse. Whether you think a crash is coming or not, somebody needs to be taking away that garbage. Bill sure does have a knack for picking operations with great competitive advantages. 8% of his portfolio is dedicated to Canadian National Railway, ticker CNI. This is another one that's a head scratcher at first, but makes a lot more sense when you learn more. The Canadian National Railway is the largest in its country in terms of both revenue and miles of track. Much like Waste Management, C&I would be difficult to take the lead from. Starting a competing company would require building an incredibly expensive amount of tracks, as well as landing equally lucrative contracts. C&I already has established lines running from British Columbia to Nova Scotia, with no signs of slowing down. Couple this with a solid record of paying increasingly higher dividends since 1995, and you've got yourself a solid company to invest in. Bill Gates and his advisors are great at picking unconventional stocks that aren't in danger of bowing out anytime soon. Caterpillar, ticker CAT, takes up a 7.7% chunk of his portfolio. You might recognize the ticker symbol from the company's logo, which is pasted on the side of its bright yellow construction vehicles. Caterpillar is a staple of the construction industry. In fact, it's the largest heavy construction equipment company in the world. It even generates more than half of its profit from international sales, giving it a foothold in hundreds of markets around the globe. Bill Gates' next slice of the pie belongs to a more familiar company. 6.5% of his billions are invested in the Walmart company, ticker WMT. It's clear that Walmart is not part of his holdings for the same reasons as the previous two stocks, but it's a great pick nonetheless. Not only is Walmart an incredibly popular store for groceries and household items, among many other things, but it is managed by forward-thinking owners. The company has evolved many times over, most recently dipping its corporate toes in both grocery delivery and e-commerce. Both of these markets are booming, and Walmart has the operations in place to dominate whatever it chooses. 4.4% of the ex-Microsoft owner's portfolio is made up of Ecolab shares, ticker ECL. This is a peculiar company that lines up well with his philosophy. I'm guessing that Ecolab's operations pulled at Bill's philanthropic heartstrings with its involvement in water and energy services, as well as providing hygiene products and food. Keeping with the dividend theme, Bill Gates must really enjoy the steadily increasing dividend payout from Ecolabs, which has increased its yield with each passing year since 2013. Crown Castle International, ticker CCI, is another on-brand investment for Mr. Gates. This internet provider holds a nearly 40% market share. Much like the Canadian railway situation we discussed previously, gaining a competitive advantage over this company would require a costly amount of infrastructure to be built. Crown Castle generates revenue by renting out the infrastructure for internet and cellular communication. In this way, it doesn't need to compete with providers for customers. Once again, we see great dividends for shareholders, which currently sit at a nice 3.13%. We have one more entry to cover before we unveil the other half of Bill Gates' portfolio. That's right, all of these stocks combined don't even make up 50% of his holdings. You're going to recognize his biggest pick, but it might surprise you. Before we take that on, let's have a quick look at FedEx and United Parcel Service, tickers FTX and UPS respectively. Both stocks make up 2.5% of his portfolio each. Once again, these are two shipping companies that hold large swathes of the market share. As of March 2021, FedEx made up 38% of the market, with UPS making up 26%. Between these two, Bill Gates is profiting off over half of the shipping revenue available today. That's not to mention that both companies will only face an increasing demand for package handling as consumerism continues its rise. Now, before I bring your attention to Bill Gates' largest and very surprising holding, I want you to take note of 3 takeaways. One quality that he seeks out is the ability of a company to survive tough economic times. These defensive picks are obvious, stocks such as Waste Management and the National Canadian Railway. Another key characteristic of his portfolio is large competitive advantages. Companies like Caterpillar and Crown Castle are staples of their respective industries, providing the heavy equipment and installations necessary for other companies to do their job. Finally, there are plenty of hefty dividends included among with most of his holdings. Ecolab and a couple of more are committed to delivering consistently increasing dividends to shareholders. Okay guys, now let's dive into the other 50% of Gates' portfolio, which consists of one company alone. First, take a moment to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. This is the best way to support profit protection so we can keep high quality content like this coming your way. Okay folks, Bill Gates' largest holding of shares is wildly different from his other positions, but it makes plenty of sense. It might have stemmed from his close relationship with investing giant Warren Buffett, or it might just be a smart move. Regardless, Berkshire Hathaway, ticker BRK, is a whopping 50% of Bill's portfolio. Berkshire Hathaway differs from everything else on this list because it is actually a holding company. This basically means it is the business that Warren Buffett has used to buy up other businesses. Now, the really big surprise here is this. Berkshire Hathaway is one of the largest shareholders of Apple. That's right, Bill Gates is indirectly one of the biggest shareholders of his longtime rival. And a funny side note, Bill Gates actually sold most of his shares to Microsoft when he stepped down from the Microsoft board in 2020. So there you have it. Bill Gates ditched Microsoft for Apple, at least from an investment point of view. It seems like Bill has taken a few notes out of Warren Buffett's book. If you want to learn more about the Oracle of Omaha's investing strategies, check out our recent video, Warren Buffett, Advice for Young People Who Want to Get Rich. See you next time.